Hello everyone and welcome to ILR3. Today we're at the Italian Grand Prix. My name's Cliffy and I'll be taking you through commentary of this race. Before we get into the first couple of qualifying times, I'm going to take you back to Season 3's Italian Grand Prix, where ILR3's own Wazzy got pole position on the intermediate tyres. It was a mixed, it was full wets and inters last season in qualifying, and it was Wazzy who indeed prevailed and got pole position. But for the actual race, Pagani actually won the race. So yeah, so mix up of who got pole and who won. So hopefully we'll see that again tonight. And the preferred strategy is a one stop. Most of the guys, I think they've been talking in the chat, are going to go super soft to medium. I know a couple guys are going to try and go from super soft to soft, or soft to super soft. So we're going to stay with Flexi. That's the first car I was on board with, so let's see what he can do on the supers. Of course, I'm going to see who has what fitted, and see everyone opting for the super soft, and Konzo, Mata, Nigel, Paul, Harin and Dartbolt all opt in for alternative tyre compounds. Well, it's Flexi who's going to start his flying lap on the set of supers, is he? And no, he's deciding to box. Let's go on board with someone else. Let's go on board with Mata. Again, someone who's over the last couple of weeks has shown really good pace. So let's see if he can set a good time on them medium tyres. So don't expect anything out of the park, but I mean, as I said, Mata has put in some really good results the last couple of races, and yeah, so far so good, looking quite smooth through turns 1 and 2. Matthew hitting early with 20.3 on the super soft tyres. Expect times to start coming down, and so far Rink also with 20.3 20.9 sorry, and actually tough to handle already into the 19s, and 19.6 for him, so that's a good lap for him to start things off. But on board with Mata now as he comes into Lesmo 1. Again, you need to keep it nice and clean, get a good exit out of Lesmo 2, or just on the curb a little bit. Looked like he understood a little, but nonetheless he's going to carry on with his lap as he comes now to what is one of the best corners on the game. Scary, don't want to overcook it, and he doesn't. Takes it quite composed. I don't think he's actually pushing on this lap, so yeah, let's see what he sets. I reckon he'll set maybe 21.5, I'm going to say. But Mata now through Parabolica again. Don't want to go too wide because you can invalidate your lap, and again he doesn't seem to be pushing that much, but he's going to set a 22.2. So yeah, sort of composed up from Mata there, feeling the track, feeling the tyres, and hopefully he can come out again, or maybe a set softs or super softs, and fight for pole. And actually Fun Aid, I missed it, taking pole with a 19.5. So these times are going to start coming down. Put in the chat who you want to see get pole position today for the Italian Grand Prix. It's anyone's guess really. I mean, there's a lot of guys in here who have got the capability of getting pole, so hopefully we see a nice tightly competitive field to start the race. But Fun Aid, I think he's going to pit. J. Cole, I think, is he going for another lap? It looks like he is. He's pushing. And Dartbolt has already called it a day. I think he might have binned it on the exit with Scarrig, so I did see a bit of a wheel off the track, so I'm guessing that's his Ferrari car out of qualifying, and he'll be starting at the back. But now J. Cole, and he pits. Let's see if anyone else is on a lap. May Showman, is he on a lap? I think he's just finishing a lap. Let's see where he goes, and he does a 21.8, so he actually beats Mata's time on the medium tyres as well, so good lap from him. So he'll be in this lap. Flexi, is he going to go again? I think he's going on a lap now, so we'll stay with Flexi again then as he starts his lap on medium tyres. I'm going to quickly get the chat up so I can see what everyone is saying, because I don't think the PlayStation notifications aren't coming through. Yep, so I've got the chat up now, so let's see what everyone is saying. Hello PRL, I mean, I don't know who's on that account, but hello Jack, hello Onyx, Goodies in the chat, hello Paul, FC Game Boys in the chat, so hello to everyone that is in the chat. Fuzel, if I'm saying that wrong I do apologise, but welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream. I hope you all have, well, I hope for everyone's benefit watching me have a good race. And so far Flexi through Ascari definitely tipped on his way through there. Again, these guys are all going to be going for as low wings as possible for the two very long straights. Of course, the start-finish straight is the main talking point at the start of the race, because turn 1 is so tight. We're going to see at least, I'd say, maybe 2 wide, even 3 wide. And Flexi does a 21.4, so Flexi is on the pace today, it looks like anyway. But at the moment is Funaid in pole position. He's actually out on another outlap, so I'm going to quickly go further down, see if we can go on board with someone who I don't usually go on board with. Let's go on board with Lukey Luke. Is he on the lap? He is. So Lukey Luke coming through Ascari now, again looking quite composed, but again doesn't want to take much curb, and that must be invalid. Got a bit wide on exit there, and he's over-revving that car to a treat. So I think Luke is going to pit. So I think 2 people said J. Cole for pole. J. Cole's currently in 6th. Lukey Luke setting 23.4, but looked like he backed out towards the line. And look at this. Paul with an absolute train eye, he goes wide. That's bound to be valid, and I think Paul was actually on a lap there. So that's unfortunate for Paul, as I think now he'll come into the pits. Maybe put on a fresh set of tyres. And Dougie, I think, is about to start a lap, I believe, on the soft tyres. So Dougie, Matto and Spaghetti Chips all on the soft tyres so far. So let's see what Dougie can do. Of course, opting for the alternate strategy so far. There is still time for him to come into the pits and put on a set of super softs, but as he comes down into turn 1, heavy braking, of course, taking it nice and slow and composed, looking quite tidy through there as well. Gets a good exit, back end doesn't step out, and so far for Dougie he's looking like a very good lap. As he comes to the end of this first sector. Again, want to hop over this curb, not too much because you will get invalid, but Dougie not looking quite smooth. Coming through Desmo 1 now, car looks like he's understeering a lot as well, so as I said, these guys are going to start running low wings to try and benefit themselves down the 2 longer, I might say 3 long straights including this one, but yeah, so far for Dougie, it's not been a great lap. He's got his teammate ahead of him, Spaghetti Chips, on the soft tyre as well. Now can Dougie gain his time through Ascari? Would that look better from Dougie? And there's his teammate. Is he going to give him a tow? Looks like he is. And what is his teammate doing? Oh, they've absolutely messed it up, and that is the end of Dougie's lap. Will he set that time? So I think he will. He's pushing still. So let's see what Dougie sets, even though that mishap with his teammate, and he goes 9th with a 20.8. So they're still timing that lap for Dougie, and his teammate is starting a lap now. So let's see if Spaghetti Chips can navigate his way through his teammate. Oh, Spaghetti Chips losing the back end there. Again, that's something you don't want to do. So he'll have to back out of that lap and go again. He's gone with someone at the back. Zenki, he's on a set of softs. I think he's on a lap. Apologise for that little mishap, but still on board with Zenki again. This man is pushing now. I don't think, is he on a lap? I'm not too sure. All the way down. 26.6. He is on a lap, so he is on for a low 19, which is a very good lap. So now Zenki will have to navigate his way through this traffic. Flexi is warming up his tyres. Flexi moves out the way very nicely indeed, and I think that should be Flexi done until the line. Coming through Parabolica now. Again, not getting too wide on the exit, doing quite well. and Zenki to the line, and he goes pole with a 19.3. And times are starting to tumble now. We could see maybe one or two guys maybe dip into the high 18s again. Could be very close. I mean, 19.5, 19.6. I mean, we've got two guys on 19.6, and that's Cohen. Now, last week, somebody said that every time I said his name, it sounded like I said something else. So again, I'm going to make sure I say his name properly. So if I pronounce his name sort of more pronounced, and you know why. But Cohen coming down the back straight, he is pushing. He's only on 2 ERS. So I think this maybe is an in lap. So let's see, and I think it is. He's pulling to the side, and I think this is definitely him coming into the pits, and it is. So let's see who else is out. Konzo is, I think he's just set that lap. So Konzo up into 5th with his teammate in 3rd, and so far, again, it's looking very, very close in the midfield, as we've seen in previous races. And yeah, at the moment, some people opt in for the softs, other people, well, most people opt in for the super soft. So we could see super soft to medium strategy for most people, but personally I'd go for super soft if you've got the tyre wear. And Nigel, is he on the lap? I think Nigel is on the lap. Again, understeers his way through Parabolica, doesn't get too wide on the curb. So let's see what he sets. And he goes 8th with a 19.9. So again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys on a 19.9. So again, it's looking very close now, midfield battle. I can't call it at this point. I'm going to say, who's on for pole? I'm going to say Spaghetti Chips is going to get up there, because I reckon he'll set another lap, as will Dougie, as will Matter as well, because Matter's time was on the mediums, as was Flexi's as well. So we could see some of these guys improve drastically towards the end, and it will only make things closer towards the end of qualifying. So while most of these guys are in the pits, I'm just going to quickly take a little drink break, and I'll be back for the final runs of qualifying. So he's come back on board with Aero Specialist. I do believe he has backed out of his lap. If he hasn't, it's looking like a very slow lap. I think he's going to go up again, maybe. So he's opting for the softs, as is Paul. So hopefully Paul can set a decent lap. And again, everyone opting for the super soft tyre. So again, it's not looking like people are going to be gambling. Only Paul and Aero Specialist. He's gone on board with the man himself. Let's see what kind of a lap Paul can do. And let's see where it puts him in comparison to everyone else who are on the quicker tyre. Comes down into turn 1. Again, looking very, very smooth from Paul there. So who knows? Only time will tell. In about a minute, we'll find out whether Paul has done enough to maybe. I mean, even if he beats Matter and I think Dougie should be doable for Paul. He has got the speed too, so coming through Lesmo 1 now is Paul, and again looking very, very understeery. Lesmo 2, it's all about the exit now. And again gets a good exit down the back straight, or the second long straight should I say. Coming into a sky, it's so easy to invalidate your lap on entry because there's too much curb, and Paul again not going nowhere near that curve just to make sure it doesn't get invalid. Ooh, that might be invalid though. Is it invalid for Paul? I don't think it is, but it's still going. Let's see if Paul can improve from 18th place. He hasn't set a time yet, so it'll be interesting to see if this lap is actually valid. And Paul coming to the line. What does he set? He goes 15th for 20.8, so he's out qualified Matter, who's done that time on the softs. So that's a good lap for Paul there. 15th place for him, so we'll definitely get a free choice of tyres for the actual race. Who else is there? We've got Matter on the supers. Hopefully he can improve. Let's go back further up the top though, because I want to see. Oh, Flexi just finishes in 8th. That's a good lap for Flexi. Good position to put. I mean, it's not exactly a great position to be in. And you saw it just then. Owen's car off on the exit of Ascari. Spaghetti Chips is off. Harron's off. So all these guys I think have invalidated their lap, and they won't be improving anytime soon. So it looks like Fun Aid might have pole wrapped up, but Zenki, can he do anything about it? It's going to come into Parabolica now. Looking very, very composed, taking the tightest line possible to get a better run up, and he goes pole with a 19 flat. That's a great lap from Zenki there to get it at the depth there. Spaghetti Chips is invalid. Cohen, he is done with a 19.4, and it looks like Dougie has invalidated as well, so I think that is it for qualifying. Harrin, I believe, was off as well. Yeah, so that is qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix, and Zenki gets pole by just over 2 tenths to Fun Aid in second and Spaghetti Chips in third. So as we wait for some of the guys to retire, I do believe it is only Dougie we are waiting for to retire, and then we can go through the full grid and then go on into the formation lap. So again, put in the chat who you want to win the race. Another few guys were supporting J. Cole, whereas he's currently in 12th place. So J. Cole can impress his fans in the race and put on a good show. Yeah, I know Zenki is very, very quick. Unlucky, but I know you've been on the pace, mate. Hopefully you can get that race pace going. So it is Zenki on pole with Fun Aid in second, Spaghetti Chips in third, Cohen in fourth, Tough to Handle fifth, Nigel sixth, good qualifying from him, Matthew in seventh, again another good qualifying from him, Dougie in eighth, Konzo ninth, Flexi 10th, just outside the top 10 we've got Rink in 11th, J. Cole 12th, Owen 13th, Evia Mata 14th, Mage Showman 15th, Harron 16th, Paul 17th, Luke 18th, Dartbolt 19th, and Error Specialist in 20th place. So well, let's hope he keeps that, because last week I think he bottled it. Zenki did last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was last week where he was in the lead and crashed. So let's hope Zenki keeps his head this race and does actually finish it, because on his day he can win races in this division. If he had experience, then he wouldn't have binned it last week. But anyway, going to the formation lap, let's see what everyone outside the top 10 have decided to put on. If I could just sort myself out here, that would be great. So Rink has decided to put on the softs, as has J. Cole and Owen. Matt has gone for a soft, super soft, sorry, so he's going for a very aggressive start. May, Showman, Harrin, Paul and Luke all opt in for the softs, and the two Ferrari boys at the back all opt in for the super soft tyres. So again, this could be a very chaotic start. You see the formation up in the background at turn 1. It's like 4 or 5 cars wide. So this is going to be very, very interesting. It's all about the start for the front, I say front 4. Let's see if Zenki can keep his cool this week, keep it together and come home with the win. No doubt he's got the pace to, from what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. He just, don't know what he does, he just makes stupid mistakes. And he unfortunately messes it up for himself, because he could have won the last couple of races with, with ease. But yeah, he just makes mistakes. So hopefully he irons them out and can finally get a win under his belt. Funaid in second. Haven't really seen much of Funaid this season. Couple of poor qualifyings from him last couple of races, so it's good to see him up into second place, being competitive and ahead of Spaghetti Chips, who is one of the title rivals this season. Cohen in fourth, separating Spaghetti Chips and Tough to Handle, who is in fifth, and then Nigel again in sixth. Good qualifying from him, and Matthew in seventh. He's been at the back in most races I've commentated, so hopefully Matthew can put on a good show. Konzo in ninth, Flexi in 10th. I mean, being in the midfield, I mean, rip. Absolute rip. Any one of these guys in midfield, I mean, they good luck. That's what I'm going to say. Zenki now approaching the line. Funaid as well. Going to crush on lap 1. Yeah, more than likely. More than likely. So waiting for the last cars to get on the grid, and then we'll go lights out. And I'm going to go, that's a terrible, there you go, that's better. So I'm going to go to 5, red lights. Can Funaid get the jump on Zenki? Oh, looks like the Williams there. Tough to Handle's got a good start there. I don't know what's happened there. I think his light spot went up before everyone else's. But it is Zenki who keeps the lead into turn 1 again. They're 3 wide at the back there. Ooh, Zenki, I think, just might push Funaid off there, but Zenki keeps the lead, which is important for him. He can now hopefully go off into the distance. Funaid in second, Spaghetti Chips up into third. Dougie, that's an almighty start, up into fourth. Tough to Handle in fifth. Nigel sixth. Matthew in 7th, so he's kept his qualifying position. Cohen down to 8th, so that's a bad start for the Sauber driver. He's gone 2 wide with Jacob, he's up into 9th. Flexi still in 10th. Konzo in 11th. It's under pressure from Owen, who's battling with Mage. Showman, looks like he's got the move done. He has, so Owen up into 12th place. Oh, and there goes Paul. Optimistic move there from Paul. Let's go back up to the front, see what Zenki's up to, and Zenki has already built up an 8th lead, to Funaid in second. Spaghetti Chips starting to reel in Funaid, but Nigel getting past Tough to Handle. Don't know what happened off the start. Tough to Handle looked like he got off to a good start, but then sort of stopped. So I mean, that might be interesting to see from his point of view. But I'm going to stay with Tough to Handle because it looks like he's going to be making the move maybe on Nigel. But look at Nigel's top end speed. He's going to get slipstream off Dougie. And can Dougie might go defensive. Ooh, went a little bit tight there. Nigel goes down the inside. Dougie, will he try to switch back? He does. And they are going to be side by side. Down the run up towards the end of sector 1. I think Dougie has defended that, and I think Tough to Handle is lagging. So Matthew will have to be very careful that he doesn't get caught up in that Tough to Handle's lag. I'm going to go aboard with him, see what happens. Dougie defend from Nigel pretty nicely, and Matthew stays in 7th and behind the laggy Williams of Tough to Handle. Up in front now, Nigel still can't get past Dougie, and Funaid is actually reeling in Oh, Paul's out. Paul is out of the race. We'll see what happened to Paul. Oh, Luke spun Paul. Oh, Owen's in the wall, so whoever said lap 1, unlucky. But Owen is in the wall on lap 2 this time. So let's see what... Oh my god. 3 cars. Oh, Harron's had to cut the entry. That's definite warning for him. Error specialist. Going down the inside of May Showman. I think Showman might have a little bit of damage. He does. Right end plate damage, so he'll be pitting this lap. And Matto, I think, has he got damage? No, he hasn't. He's had a pretty slow start to this race. Zenki's got a 1.5 second lead and is looking to gain, but look at this train. He's gone board with Jaco and to see what happens. He's on the back of Flexi, but is he going to go for a dive down the inside? Yes, yes he does. Up ahead. Got Cohen losing positions. Matthew now up into 6th, so both these guys have got past. Tough to handle. Now it's Flexi's turn to get past the laggy Williams, but he's got J. Cole to worry about all over his back end, who is on the soft tyres as well, so the highest running soft runner now working his way into the top 10. So let's see what J. Cole can do on the alternate tyre, the slower tyre, but up in front. Spaghetti chips all over the back with Fun Aid. He needs to get this move done if he wants to stay in touch with Zenki. Look at the train behind Dougie though, it's absolutely incredible. That goes from 4th all the way down to 11th. And Spaghetti chips around the outside into Ascari. Oh, that is tight, and Fun Aid has to give that place up, unfortunately, and Spaghetti chips up into 2nd place. Hard but fair racing there. Oh, Flexi's off. I think Flexi's off. Flexi has crashed. Flexi has no wing. Oh my god, big crash. Oh, I think Rink has got wing damage from that, and I think Flexi was just trying to stay out of the way, but him standing out of the way has meant that Rink has now got a wing damage. So it's all kicking off here. Flexi, from what looked like a good qualifying from him, is now out of the race. Owen had a good qualifying, he's down in last. And now we're 3 wide with Matthew. Matthew backs out, does the right thing. Williams tries to go back down the inside, and Matthew round the outside of Dougie. That is a great move. That's a great move if he can pull it off, and I think he has. But Nigel is given. Oh, Dougie. Oh my god, big crash. Oh, that is poor. That is absolutely poor from Dougie there. And Matthew cuts the chicane. He's got wing damage. That's poor. Matthew had nothing to do with that. It was just a spectator and all that. So now that I will allow J. Cole now, he's now up into, going to be up into 4th place. Hopefully Matthew should let him pass, considering he's got wing damage. I think if he pits for mediums, he will be able to go to the end. So it's not over yet for Matthew. He could still get some points from this, which is what he needs. And now J. Cole up into 4th place on the soft tyre. So J. Cole looking very, very good here at the moment. But Matt are now up into 7th because of all the crashes in front of him. So let's see what happens. Aero Specialist getting past Cohen as well. I think Cohen might have wing damage. Oh, I think he has. He's just spun Aero Specialist. Oh, he's managed to save it. Like, will allow Harrin to get onto the back of Aero Specialist. Cohen did have wing damage, as you can see by the understeer through Parabolica. Harrin takes advantage of that little incident, and will he go down the inside of Aero Specialist? I think he's already got the move done. It's going to be tight, and Aero Specialist has to back out of that, and he does. And Harrin up into 7th. Matter now onto the back of Dartbolt, who Dartbolt started at the back and lapped 5, and I mean he's up into 5th. So that's a good start from Dartbolt, and he's on the back of J. Cole, who's on the slower tyre at the moment. I'll give it a couple laps, and them softs will come into their own. So it's been a chaotic first few laps, which is always expected at Italy with the long run down into turn 1, just the high speeds and then basically stopping. So you're not even moving. It's always going to cause accidents, incidents, and the stewards will be very busy tonight. Matthew now is still in the points as Matthew, so he's in 10th. So again, Matthew still has a solid chance of maybe even getting a top 5 finish. Maybe if he can get the mediums to the end, he'll be more. He'll be in the points. But he is 22 seconds. No, wait, that's not right, is it? He's not 22 seconds behind, is he? No way. Tough to Handle gets the first penalty of the day. So again, penalties will and could decide. Nigel gets one as well. Matter and Dartbolt going side by side through turn 1. Matter though not able to get the power done, and Dartbolt defends quite well from Matter, but again he's going to have to slipstream. Can he get the move? No, we can't. Dartbolt gets a much better exit. Looks like he's got much better straight line speed at the back. Matthew, I mean, tough to handle is only there, but I don't know about Cohen, who is opted for another set of super softs, so that he could be doing super soft, so he might have to stop again to put on a set of softs. So that could be pretty interesting to see where he comes out at the end of the race. But again, Matter still behind Dartbolt. This is the closest battle at the front. Funaid is right behind Spaghetti Chip still. Zenki has built up a 4.6 second lead, so again, if he doesn't bin it or crack under pressure, then this will be an easy win for him. But Tough to Handle, his car is desyncing all over the place. Well, on my screen it is anyway. I can only imagine what's happening on these guys' screen. But Major Showman now coming onto the back of Matthew. Up at front though, Matter and Dartbolt. Matter's got past down and start finish straight, easy move. And Matter can now go after J. Cole in fourth, who hasn't really been able to gain on the harder tyre just yet. Maybe in the next couple of laps you'll see him maybe really in a second or two to Funaid, who, to be fair to him, is keeping Spaghetti Chip. So Funaid this week is on the pace, so it'll be good for him to get a decent result, which is well needed for him, as a few other guys as well. And Owen has decided to call it a day as well, no surprise there. The crash on lap 2, too much for him, and can't come back from that. But down at the lower end of the field, Tough to Handle still looks like he's desyncing everywhere. May Showman now past Nigel, and Matthew has lost he's lost 2 places to Showman and Nigel, so whether he's just let them go because he knows that they're going to be quicker at this point of the race, and he knows that they've got to pit again. It's a weird one for Matthew, because he looked quite good in qualifying, so maybe he's just conserving the mediums, make sure they get to the end. We've got yellows in sector 2. Who is that? I don't know who that was. But yeah, Matt has now been able to get the gap on Dartbolt, but Dartbolt reeled Matter in there, so he's now within DRS again. Luke gets time penalty as well, so I'm going to try and keep an eye on penalties. But Cohen and Tough to Handle, it says they're side by side, but they're not. I think Tough to Handle might just have a bit of desync, and Cohen, I think he can see Tough to Handle, but obviously on my screen, because Tough to Handle got off to a very good start, I think his lights went up before everyone else's, so that might jump him back towards the end of the race. And Dartbolt, he was within 3/10 of Matter, so I don't know what's happened there, but for some reason Matter's been able to build a 2-second gap, and Dartbolt's all over the place. He spun. Oh, save it! Oh, he's managed to save it. He's got wing damage though, so he'll have to pit for a set of medium tyres. And Dartbolt calling it a day. Oh, the Red Bull there, Rink almost getting in the way there. Almost hitting Dartbolt's car, but Dartbolt, is he going to come back at him? I think he is. I think Rink might have got an illegal overtake, that's why he let him past. But I'm going to go back to the front because Funaid is now within 3/10 of Spaghetti Chips. I mean, Zenki, a 6-second advantage. This man is on a mission. This could be an absolute dominating performance from the Rebel driver today. I know Zenki from other leagues. He's definitely quicker than ILR3. But again, it could be a fight for best of the rest today with Funaid and Spaghetti Chips, and even Jacob, because he's gaining time now on the super soft runner, so he'll have to start pushing now if he wants to gain more time. Matter 1.4 behind, and now some of these guys are pitting. So Matthew actually coming out quite in front of the guys that have pitted. So fair play to him. He should still get a handful of points today. Whether he'll get a top 5 finish is a bit out of his reach, I think. Jones in sector 1. Who's that? Oh, I don't know. I think Luke might have wing damage. He's parking it on the curb. So I don't know what Luke is doing. I think he might be calling it a day. He's weaving. So I am going to look at this and stay. Where's the leader? Zenki is coming just past turn 1 now. So let's see what Luke does and see if he does let him by. Oh, Showman's out. Where did Showman bin it? Oh, exit of Ascari. Must have took too much curb, lost the back end. He's gone board with Luke though, because I think Zenki is near him on track. He is. Zenki, you could just see him in the distance there, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Ivy Matter on the back of J. Cole. J. Cole just can't get them softs to work at the moment. Matter though, able to keep them super softs in the window that they need to be. Instead of in sector 2 and sector 3. Oh, Luke's let. Okay, so Luke's let Zenki by, which is good. Let's see if Luke lets the other guys pass. Let's go on board with Spaghetti Chips. As Luke goes on the grass to let these guys by, and he does indeed let everyone by. So he's now a lap down. It's not what you want to see. So I don't know what Luke is playing at here. Everyone has now lapped him. Well, I'm going to go back. Oh, Funate has decided to pit. So he might get the undercut on Spaghetti Chips. So Spaghetti Chips will have to push now if he wants to. If he wants to keep second place. But I mean, what do we say here? Lap 11, Zenki a 7.7 advantage. Luke has indeed decided to call it a day. And everything that's going on, we're all forgetting about this man's dominating performance so far. Looks like the soft tyres, the super soft tyres that he's got on now are past their sell by date. You see the wear on the front left. Looking very worn indeed, so he could be pitting this lap. Jacob again hasn't been able to reel in Spaghetti Chips on them soft tyres. You'd think by now they'd be up to temperature and he'd be able to reel him in, but he just can't get the power down. Going to go back down to Matthew. He's now within a second to Nigel. This could be a nice little battle here between Matthew, Nigel and Harrin. And I think Matthew's lagging a little bit there, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And Funaid comes out in 4th. So again, Funaid looking quite good. Zenki does indeed decide to pit. Kind of obvious with the way his tyres were looking, but tough to handle. He's going to go for a move on Matter. No, he's not. Backs out of it. And Zenki has actually opted for soft tyres. Now that is a brave call for him. He should be able to get to the end. I did say some people might go super soft as their preferred strategy. So hopefully he can get to the end from here. He should be able to. And Funaid on the mediums. He is not taking no risk. But look how up ahead Spaghetti Chips has managed to get an overcut on Funaid, so Spaghetti Chips will keep 3rd place, but for how long can he make them soft last? Matter and Tough to Handle going side by side. Matter will have the inside, so we'll keep it, but Tough to Handle will get the better exit. Yes, he will. So Tough to Handle going round. Matter's outside. This is what we want to see. Good, clean racing. And Tough to Handle. Ooh, a little bit of contact there, nothing too major though. And Matter has to concede that place to Tough to Handle. So let's go further down. Cohen now, he's getting involved in this little battle. Of course, he's on the super soft, which of course he'll have to pit again. He's done 7 laps from them already, so they'll start getting past their sell by date pretty soon. But we've got an interesting train down from 9th to 12th with Nigel, Harry, Matthew and Dougie, which I'll keep an eye on as best as I can. But Cohen getting a much better, getting a Sky right compared to Matter, who looked like he just bogged down midway through. And now Cohen, is he going to go down Matter's inside? into Parabolica. No, he doesn't. He wants to wait for the start finish straight, but I think Matter will just get DRS on Tough to Handle. I think he will. So let's see who's got a better top end speed. I think Cohen looks like he has compared to Matter, because he's gaining, but he's not gaining enough. He needs to stay in that slipstream. He's going to go for a dive. He does. Matter breaks late though and is able to fend off Cohen. Now back to the train. Let's see, Dougie, can he get anywhere near Matthew's rear end to go for a dive? He's looking, or breaks later, or much later than Matthew, so Dougie will know that now. And Tough to Handle, I think, is lagging again. So the top three, I think I've decided, with Funaid maybe putting on a late charge at the end. Matter, I think, should get 5th. So I think Tough to Handle will definitely have to pit again. And I think the best battle now is the battle for 9th between Nigel, Harry, Matthew and Dougie. And Dougie's very close to Matthew's rear end here. Let's see if Dougie can get closer. I mean, he has been gaining on Matthew the last couple laps. Of gap now 3/10 as they come into Ascari. Dougie taking it a lot better than Matthew, but Matthew on the exit getting a lot tidier, and he's actually gaining now. Well, I thought he was gaining on Harron, he's not. So we'll see what happens down into Parabolica. And again, Harron looked like he went really wide there, so he's right behind Nigel now, so this could be moved. I mean, two Mercedes boys, they should work together maybe to get away from Matthew and Dougie. Harron says thank you very much. Nigel concedes the place and Dougie isn't able to gain on Matthew. So this is what we're going to see in most divisions. So it's a DRS train with like 4 or 5 cars all on the same bit of track, but just where the slipstream and ERS, DRS, it just doesn't make for good racing. J. Cole's out. J. Cole has retired from the session. Where he's binned it out of Ascari. Looked like he managed to keep the car, but didn't keep it for long enough and ended up in the wall. It's unfortunate for J. Cole because he had a few supporters in the chat. So it's unfortunate for him. Can we see maybe a... Ooh, that looked very interesting from Tough to Handle there. Looked like he almost crashed into J. Cole's crashed car. I think he would have ghosted though, but with F1 you never know. Anyway, going back to the DRS train, Nigel all over the back of Harron now. It's Harron's turn to get Nigel's turn, sorry, to get back past his teammate Harron. Oh, but Nigel going very deep. That's going to allow Matthew to close up maybe, but Nigel in the exit will get a slightly better exit. So again, we look to the two Mercedes boys. Tough to Handle pits. There's a virtual safety car as Darkbolt retires from the session. So that has just played. I mean, Tough to Handle is going to have to set a super stop, so 12 laps. That's going to be very. It's going to be quite difficult. But with the virtual safety car, it might help him out a little bit. So it's not really going to change anything in terms of position. It's meant that Tough to Handle has stayed in the points in 10th, and the likes of Dougie, Matthew, Nigel and Harron have all gained a place. So let's see who gets the jump on the virtual safety car. Let's see who does it better out of these 4 guys. Let's see if anyone gets a drive through for Speed Hunter's virtual safety car. And I think it's ended, so we are back racing. I think Matthew might have just got the jump on Dougie, and maybe now he can enjoy the Mercedes Slipstream Fest and bring Dougie with him as well. Into Ascari they come. Oh, that's a terrible exit from Harron. Hold on. sorry about that. I will have to go for an impromptu break. It won't be for long, for about 30 seconds, so if you hear nothing for about a minute, then I have gone, but I shouldn't be for that long. So back with the battle, and looks like nothing's changed. I think Nigel might have binned it because he's now pit and put on a set of softs. So Nigel not having a great afternoon. He was running with his teammate up in 6th, and that's now allowed. Oh, Dougie's got past Matthew. I didn't see that either, so I have missed that. I do apologise. Injury risk, can you show the lap time? Thank you. I might, yeah, I'll do that, because I want to see what he's setting as well for my race on Sunday. But yeah, back to the absolute DRS fest, and looks like Matthew's taking a back seat from this battle. He has done 12 laps, as has Dougie, and Dougie now moving past Harrin. Harrin can't really defend it down that start-finish straight, and Harrin has to concede to place, and now Matthew might want to start pushing if he wants to stay with Dougie. We're all on. Apologise for that, I had to quickly go for 30 seconds, but I am back. So Zenki now 12-second lead, man. The guy's been absolutely dominant today. But again, anything can happen in 9 laps. That's tough to handle now. On the back of Dougie, on them super soft tyres. Oh, Matthew, sorry, not Dougie. Tough to handle, so it's 22 flat. Matthew tries to defend the inside, but I think he can't do nothing about it. No, he can't, and Matthew locks up, letting Tough to Handle by. So now Tough to Handle should funnel his way through this little pack quite easily on them fresh supers, but towards the end of the race, them supers are going to start dying off, and then maybe Harry, Dougie and Matthew can all maybe put on some sort of comeback at him, but you can just see how much the super softs quicker than the mediums at this point. Tough to Handle, I don't think he's even pushing at this point, and he's still quicker. You can just see the exit speed, and Zenki replies back with a 21.5. That is incredible pace from the Red Bull driver. I think that just proves how much he's not even pushing, and when he needs to push he will, as Tough to Handle gets past Harrin, and now he looks to get past Dougie. It should be quite an easy move considering Dougie's mediums are 13 laps old. So let's see if Tough to Handle unlucky, J. Cole. Unlucky, mate. Tough to Handle now on the back of Dougie. I don't think Dougie should fight this as much, and I don't think now he is, and he's letting Tough to Handle go. That now puts Tough to Handle up into 6th place, and he can now go after Error Specialist. So, ooh, just the back end there a little bit. That's going to allow Dougie maybe a chance to come back at him. Tough to Handle. Well, it's going to come back to the outside, but no, he doesn't. Dougie coming back at him. I don't think I'd see this. They're too wide. A terrible camera angle. Dougie has got back past Tough to Handle. So 14 lap old mediums doing better than 4 lap old super softs. Never thought I'd see today. Tough to Handle will be ruining his mistake out of turn 1, and he'll now have to get back past Dougie once again. And he's going to do it into a Scary. No, he isn't. Does back out of it. That's good awareness from Tough to Handle. Doesn't want to ruin his race or Dougie's race by going for a move in a Scary up behind Matthew. He doesn't want to stay behind Harrin for too long, so we've got 2 separate battles here. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. Tough to Handle down the inside into Parabolica. He has made the move, and I think he'll still get DRS. I think he's just ahead at the DRS line. I'm going to he see? And he does. So Tough to Handle timing that quite well. And now Harin and Matthew. Is Matthew going to go for a move as well? Harin does defend the inside or middle of the track. So now can Matthew get a better exit? Oh, he's pushing that car, pushing that Renault to get that better exit. Tough to Handle. Stays past Dougie. Harin though, going to the outside. That could prove costly because that's allowed Matthew to get beside him. Going to come into the corner. Matthew's going to lock up a little bit maybe. No, he doesn't. Manages to not lock up the brakes as we've seen before. Oh, almost losing the back end. As Matthew keeps the car. And Dougie, I mean, he isn't going to be able to stay with Tough to Handle. I think Tough to Handle will just breeze off into distance and go after Aero Specialist, who again started at the back and he's in 5th. So given what's happened, you know, circumstances, but to start at the back and to be 5th, that was a great performance from him. He'll no doubt be happy to somewhat, well, hopefully finish in the top 5. But Matthew, I think now is the time where he needs to start making moves. I mean, he's in the points already. I think he'll be happy with that. What's this in the back end? But look at Dougie. He's off the track momentarily there on the exit of Parabolica. That might allow Harin to get alongside. Harin will have DRS, but just hasn't got the run on Dougie. And Matthew again keeping the back seat. Oh, but Harin goes deep. That's going to allow Matthew maybe another chance to go for a move on Harin. I think it is, because Matthew's going to have the slipstream on Harin. As they come to into sector 1, are going to be side by side. Is this going to end well? Matthew has to back out of it, and Harin defends it from Matthew, but it's only a matter of time before Matthew gets past Harin for P8. Harin's all over the place. Harin's under so much pressure from Matthew. And Matthew not going for a move in this guy. He'll want a better exit here, and I think he has got it on the curb, but has to be careful. And I think Harin might have just got away with that one there. He's quite lucky to, and that was a great shot of Matthew's Renault and the Mercedes of Harin. Down into Parabolica they come. That's the tree line. Smothers the track. Matthew's time is now. He's gaining. Look how much he's gaining. He's going for a move around the outside, and that camera angle ended at the perfect time as Matthew gets back past, defends inside. So he will. Oh, he did look up there, so fair play to Matthew. And Harin has to finally concede the place to Matthew, who has done well this race, considering his past races have been lots of Aero Specialist and Fun Aid as well. Comfortably in the top 5. I apologise again. Just living in a house full of women. I wouldn't recommend it. But anyway, lap 23. I don't think I've missed anything again. Harin's still in the back of Matthew. And I think that might... Well, it is the closest battle on track, so we're going to stay with Harin to see if he can close up to Matthew again, because Harin is on 5 lap fresher tyres, so realistically he should be able to stay with Matthew, and if not be quicker than him towards the end of the race. It should be around now where them fresher mediums should take its toll. And yeah, Jono, listen, like, it's just true. It is just true. And Matthew gets the penalty. That could prove costly though, because that would put him back down into 10th place with Cohen having a watching brief. Let's see if Harin can make the move on Matthew. He's going to open the DRS. He's going to be on 1 ERS, which is what you want to see. Should be on at least 5 or 4, and with Matthew running no OBS, that could allow Harin to maybe go for a bit of a dive bomb on the last coming lap. So this battle is not over yet. I'm going to quickly see Harin's penalty. So I think he got one. No, he hasn't. Probably offended someone with that comment. Luckily I said it quite quiet, so yeah, no one heard it, luckily. Anyway, back to the race. Oh, Harin! Oh, almost lost the rear there. What a way to change the conversation. And now that's going to allow Cohen to close up on 10 lap old soft, so they should have some life in them, but not much. And Zenki absolutely, again, I've said it a couple of times already, but just absolutely dominating performance. I don't want sort of his performance to go unnoticed, as it has when most people win by 15 seconds. But anyway, Cohen now on the back of Harin. I think his mediums have just completely given up on him. But the likes of Matthew and Dougie are still going. So let's see if Cohen can make the move on Harin. It's going to be tight. And again, these three all bunching up now towards the end of the race. So again, this battle is not over yet. Matthew with that penalty, he'll be kicking himself. So I could drop him to 10th place. It's still a point, but I mean, 1 point. Yeah, exactly, Goody. Exactly. You just want to keep it composed, keep it calm. Don't push the car, and you'll be fine. If you overheat them tyres and through a scullery and on the exit, you're just gonna lose the rear, as we've seen with many people tonight. And unfortunately it hasn't ended well, as you see with all the retirements. I think it's 8 retirements, so not bad, but again not great, not what you want to see. And Harin, lucky to not get another warning there. That's going to allow Cohen now to close in. Look at the run he's got. Is he going to go for it into parabolica? He does take the inside line. I feel like John Ramon's without assist puts me in the wall. I agree, McGold. I agree. And now Cohen round the outside of Harin. He's going to make that move. Yes, he's always going to go for a move on Matthew as well. And Matthew has to take avoiding action. Matthew gets another time penalty for his worries. So I don't think Cohen was expecting Matthew to brake as early as he did. Obviously running no OBS. That's obviously a given for Matthew. There's nothing you could do about that. But Harin is going to come back at Cohen. He does. And Matthew gets a 5-second stop go for... Oh, I've just gone from bad to worse for him. But I should get removed because he had to avoid the salvo of Cohen. And Harin sort of still frustratingly behind him. Just can't get them mediums to work. And I think Cohen now, it's only a matter of time before he gets the move done. And Zenki has indeed started the last lap, so I'm going to go back on board with him in the next 30 seconds to see him finish off the race. It's been a very, very dominant performance from him. It's what he's needed after the last couple of races he's had. But yeah, again, hopefully he manages to keep these performances going and can really put on a charge for the title in the second half of the season. But I am going to stay with Harin as he goes wide out parabolic. That could help him, or that could hinder him. Yes, good, yeah, I know. Oh, Skeleton Sector 1, who is that? For a minute I thought it was Zenki, but it's not. Zenki is still carrying on. Goes in sector 1 again. And Harin still can't get past. But I am going to go back to Zenki to see him cross the line. He's going to come through Parabolica. Absolutely dominant performance from him. Absolute dominance. Took pole. Led since lap 1. Hasn't looked back since. Zenki is your race winner by 17 seconds with spaghetti chips. Oh, Aero Specialist is out. Oh my god. Oh wow. That is absolutely incredible. So Aero Specialist retiring on the last lap. That's going to allow Matthew to maybe finish in 9th if he's lucky. But spaghetti chips will come across the line second. Funaid come across the line in a very superb third place. Matter in 4th place again. Good performance from him considering he was at the back of the grid. Tough to Handle will come home in 5th again. A good result for him, but Spaghetti Chips does indeed take another advantage in that title fight. So it's looking like Tough to Handle and Spaghetti Chips are going to be exchanging places throughout the rest of this season. Dougie will come home in 6th, gets 5th due to penalties. Matthew comes home in 7th, but where will he finish? He finishes in 9th, so Matthew will no doubt get that 5-second penalty removed. And yeah, Rink beats him by 4/10, but Matthew should get 9th. And Nigel, considering he's in 11th by 17 seconds, he will finish in 11th. And that has been the Italian Grand Prix. I will look at Zenki's lap times. I mean, he set 21.5 like midway through the race on the set of softs. So I feel like his lap times are going to be sort of not accurate because I'm guessing he just wasn't pushing. But let's quickly go see. So yeah, you can tell he wasn't pushing, not at all. From 21.5 back to a 23.9, he definitely wasn't pushing. So it just goes to show this man's pace is just absolutely incredible. And yeah, I mean, if he has races like that, then he'll definitely maybe find himself in the title fight. But yeah, that's been Zenki, Spaghetti Chips and Funaid on the getting 3rd place. Matter in 4th, Dougie 5th, Tough to Handle 6th, Cohen in 7th, Harron in 8th, Rink in 9th and Matthew in 10th. And just outside the points we have Nigel in 11th and Aero Specialist, who, if he would have finished, would have been my driver today without a shadow of a doubt. But unfortunately he retired, and I think it might have to be Matter who gets driver today. 14th to 4th, good performance from him. But I don't take away Zenki's dominating performance in 1st place. Dartbolt 13th, J. Cole, Lukey Luke, May, Sherman, Owen, Konzo, Flexi, and of course Paul, who we lost very early on in the race. So yeah, that's been the Italian Grand Prix. Again, I keep forgetting to have everyone added to do podium interviews, so I'm going to make it my mission to get podium interviews next week, and maybe I'll shoot people in the chat to ask some questions to the guys on the podium next week. But yeah, my name's been Cliffy, and I'll see you next week for ILR3. Thank you and good night.